When lilacs last and the dooryard bloomed, and the great star early drooped in the western sky in the night, I mourned, and yet shall mourn with ever-returning spring. In Leaves of Grass, Walt Whitman explores the facets of one's life that are considered some of its greatest mysteries, such as life, death, and the idea of rebirth. The sea had jeeringly kept his finite body up, but drowned the infinite of his soul. In Moby Dick, Herman Melville explores the depth of one's life through the obsession, as shown through Captain Ahab, who lives only to vanquish the titular whale. Whenever I find myself growing grim about the mouth, whenever it is a damp, drizzly November in my soul, whenever I find myself involuntarily pausing before coffin warehouses and bringing up the rear of every funeral I meet, Ishmael ponders death, with his life not holding the meaning or excitement that he believes it should. Ever returning spring, Trinity sure to you bring, lilac blooming perennial and drooping star in the west. Although we may die in certain ways, whether it be spiritually or through some other facet of ourselves, we're reborn in some other manner, but we all meet the same end, as the sun sets to end our day. All evil, to crazy Ahab, were visibly personified and made practically assailable in Moby Dick. He piled upon the whale's white hump the sump of all the general rage and hate felt by his whole race from Adam down. Ahab lives to vanquish this whale, which he believes personifies the evil in his life. The reason for his journey is much more than just sport. It is a way for him to achieve a form of rebirth after a life of obsession towards Moby Dick. Night and day journeys a coffin. Whitman means to further the unavoidable notion that we are all meant to die, with every day just being another step towards our certain death. But what does this all mean? Whitman, in his poetry, seems to embrace the idea of man and nature becoming one, whereas in Melville's story, Captain Ahab seems to be against nature, as do most of the other characters, not only because they are looking for Moby Dick and trying to vanquish him, but also because of the battle that they have every day at sea and attempting to survive throughout this perilous journey. I believe that this contrast just shows how different attitudes can be towards nature. Although nature may be beautiful, it is also very dangerous, as shown through Leaves of Grass and through Moby Dick.